Hello there, it's Cami with Throw Like a Girl TV, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing a little bit of an unboxing, because here's a box. We're going to open it. I know what it is already, but this is a pretty unique project, which I'm excited to dig into and read more about. Eric Gray wrote a book. Well, he compiled a book. I think he'll tell you that he compiled a book about people's baseball stories. So I think everyone has some kind of connection to baseball, even if it's maybe not a happy story. But I think we all have some sort of growing up story or going to a game story with a grandpa or something like that. So this is a very hefty book. It's more than I thought. But we've been in touch mostly through Facebook, one of the perks of social media, because we know sometimes that it can be a drag and a drain and can be a real sort of not so happy place. But we got in touch on social media, and I guess he had reached out to a lot of people, and it occurred to me that through the course of shooting Throw Like a Girl over 8 or 9 years and interviewing people for a very long time, like a lot of my interviews are the better part of an hour, 30 or 40 minutes, because my personal style, I guess, my personal aesthetic is, first of all, I want people to feel comfortable and kind of forget that the camera's there, which sometimes it takes a while for people because it's not a normal thing to have a big camera sort of set up between you and another person, and maybe there's other people gathered around. Maybe it's a kid and their parents are gathered around, or their coach or their other players, and it just can be a little awkward. So sometimes you have to talk for a while before all that weirdness goes away and you sort of just are just talking. And sometimes it happens right away, but sometimes it doesn't. And then sometimes it takes a while to kind of get to what are we here to talk about? Because I'm just innately curious. I love to know why people do what they do, why they make the choices that they make, why they think about the things they think about, and why they care about what they care about. And I don't think we ask each other these questions enough in life, especially of the people close to us. A couple years ago, I made a film about my dad, and I learned things about my dad through the camera that I did not know. And you think, I should probably know my parents, my sisters, closer than I know everybody. And I know that's not true, but we think we should. And we just feel like through osmosis or whatever, growing up in the same house, that we just have always been there in their lives and they've always been in our lives. And so we just sort of know everything about them. And we don't, especially the whole whys and whats and what drives them and what they care about. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend turning the camera on your family with their permission if you can get it. Because that's better. You don't want to sneak up on people in the shower or anything, because that's probably a crime. But so anyway, Eric did these audio interviews, and some of them, though, I think the people wrote him. They wrote out the story, so that's why he sort of more compiled the book than wrote the book, technically. But there is a chapter in this book on my favorite topic, which you, I'm sure, have gathered from listening to my videos. Right there. Women in baseball. And Maybelle Blair, friend of the show, as we shall say, has a story in here. Perry Barber, another big supporter of the show, has a story in here. How she got started umpiring. And this kind of thing, I think, like I said, we don't ask these questions of our friends and our colleagues and our family members. And I'm not really sure why. I think it's because life is so busy and hectic, and we also don't want to be intrusive, right? We don't want to be nosy or something like that. But if we don't understand each other, then that's where literally misunderstandings happen. But it's also where, you know, you make assumptions about people, and where or there's resentments, and there's just all these things that happen just from the lack of communication. And that really, communication is essential to everything. So just reading why somebody cares about, there's Victor Buxton, who is my friend, who is starting a program in Ghana, and he is getting endless grief from his own federation because he's involving girls in baseball, and his own federation is like, no, girls are supposed to play softball, because somebody decided that sometime that no one's owning up to. I blame Little League, but that's another video. He may be the only person in Ghana, the whole country, that's like, no, girls should play baseball. And I'm like, let me work with you, let me send you equipment and do stuff. But you can just read it from the person. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is what I care about. And then you can be like, hey, I care about that, and so I care about you, and let me see what we can do. And anyway, this is why I think a book like this is important, and this is why I think that you should look up Eric Gray and you should buy his book. I'll do a more of an in-depth review once I've actually dove in and read some of the stuff, but because I know a lot of the people in the book, I can sort of say that it's going to be a high quality book. And on a side note, he has given me the inspiration to do the same thing, as I started to say earlier before I interrupted myself, that because I have all these interviews from Throw Like a Girl that are not going to make it into the movie because the movie is not going to be 27 hours long, we're going to do a companion book to Throw Like a Girl. So all of these stories get to live on in printed form, because they won't, like I said, make it in the film like a snippet, like a couple minutes might, but you can't do a film with 40-minute interviews, of course, because that would be not a film. All right, so that's our thoughts for today. Baseball to Bleachers by Eric C. Gray. Check it out. It's hot off the presses. It's been out about a month, I think. And like I said, once I dive in and read some, I will have some more to say about it. But at this point, I can highly recommend that you pick it up and give it a read and learn more about people that you might already know, because I guarantee we don't know 20% of what we think we know about people. All right, I'll see you on the bases.